And one thing I'll tell anybody, you're never ready, man. You're never ready, dude. You just got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's true.
Like you're in a room, you're in a very basic starter studio.
Yeah.
Now the people may not see that, but some people will look at it and say, dude, I don't have a crazy studio. I struggle with that sometimes.
Yeah.
How could I interview Trump and I'm not ready, or everything is
that
not
on the docket?
Huh? Yeah, right.
Is that going to happen? You think?
They told me I could, but my thing is this: I want to make sure I add value too. That's another thing that's important to me. It's not just virality. I can be, of course, I can get Trump on there.
But
they said, I text some guy. I don't want to say his name, but I text him, and he's like, "Yeah, anytime you can have Trump on." It is good for Trump to come on and talk to me because it gives access to a different community. But at the same time, I also think through it and say, let me not be about me, because I know it's going to make my content good. But what value am I going to add to Trump? And that's what my focus is before I engage in him on the interview. He's out here now. I could interview him. He came to Phoenix. I could have interviewed him then. I want to make sure that I'm adding value to Trump and not just siphoning popularity.
Yeah. That's actually a really unique way to think through hosting of a podcast. That's a really good way to think it, because a lot of times even people like me, us small podcasts, if we get a bigger name like you, it's like, okay, this is going to be my big ticket. This is everything. And we think about nothing about you. It's all about me. That's an interesting thing. But I do think, though, you should do it, though. If you can.
I will.
Because I think that you would have a unique perspective given 100%. With where you were brought up, how you were brought up, with what you believe now. I think that you would just be able to deliver a different line of questioning. You're a very intuitive person. You're a good listener. You're active listening. I can already tell you're very active listening skills. It would just be because sometimes I watch a Trump interview, or like even the Dr. Phil. I love Dr. Phil. That's great. Like, he did a good job. But it was an interview. It wasn't a conversation. Right. Dr. Phil had his iPad out. He had his questions he went through, and it's fine. It was a good interview. Glad they did it. But if you could have a conversation with Trump and show Trump's real person side that a lot of people don't get to see. I can't remember who it was. It was Barstool. I think Barstool did an interview with Trump when he was still the president. And that was the first time I saw Trump not as a dude yelling on stage, doing his rah-rah kind of. I just saw him as a dude. And I'm like, that's the Trump America needs to see more. Yeah,
100%. I thought it was cool when he went on with Logan Paul and I forget Impulse. I forget the name of it.
Impulsive is their podcast.
Something, yeah. So he went on there, and I thought it was so cool how they asked him certain questions. That was like, who would win this or who would do this. It's just very outside of politics, man. And I was shocked that he was culturally aware of a few other things, But you're right. That's the thing. When I've been thinking with my team, I'm like, first of all, we need to get out together, right? We need to make sure that we don't F it up and not have sound when I interview Trump. So we need to get that together. But I just want to say, okay, I'm praying about it and saying, what angle do I need to come from? I don't want this to be an unfruitful thing. This is by me. How do I interview Trump and ask him the questions that I think will be mutually beneficial? I want to see.
When it comes from the heart, though, I'm telling you, when it comes from you, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Right.
Guaranteed.
It's the same thing with you. Like I'm learning from you because you said, I was nervous. And then you talked to me and I'm like, dude, this is one of the best podcasts I've been on. Like, because you're just genuine and we have a good conversation and you lead the conversation good. I'm enjoying it. But you may have been nervous. It's the same thing I feel about Trump, right? Yeah. Trump is a big deal. He's a once in a lifetime guy. And sometimes I do feel nervous, but the confidence I need to have, like you, where I say, you know what, let's just do it and just see what happens. I'm not never going to be completely good, but I mean, completely prepared in my mind.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, dude, it's what you just told me, man. Like, if you just do it, have fun. And then this is what my wife was telling me about this. Cause again, I was nervous the past couple of days cause I knew this day was coming and she, she's just like, hey, like, enjoy it. Yeah. Like, if I would have told you a year ago when you started this podcast, you're going to, because I watch your content, I've been subscribed for a while, that we'd be having a conversation, I'd just laugh. I'm like, that's not going to happen. And so instead of freaking out throughout the journey, just enjoy it. Yeah. And so anyway, man, I just think you would have a sweet perspective on the community. And I think this is what maybe where our conversation, we have a little bit more time, a conversation to pivot, because there's a couple other things we want to talk about. Yeah.